She works the nights by the water.
What is up? It's finally time. I've still kind of like, is this really happening? Like, I've kind of just hit the ground running with this entire thing, mainly because I have had a lot of passions and a lot of dreams and a lot of goals over the years that I quite honestly just completely gave up on. I lost motivation, mental health kicked my ass, or I had people along the way telling me that things that I wanted weren't realistic, or that I couldn't make it happen, or whatever. And I let those things stop me along the way. And when it came to starting this company, when it came to Tried and True, it was something that I have held on to so tightly, and am still kind of like, I can't believe that I haven't let this go. That we are finally here to talk about Tried and True, my company, my brand, my message. And I just want to first say thank you so much for being here. God, for all of you that have already been so excited and anxious to purchase things from this company, I can't even put that into words, what that means to me. I have worked very hard to get this going, and I'm just as anxious and excited to share it with you guys. So I wanted to make a dedicated video just kind of explaining, a little bit about myself and why I started this company and what this company means and where I hope to go with it. I'm a single mom who was raised by a single mom, and one of the things that I really had to learn as an adult was looking back at my childhood and looking back at, the pretty traumatic and toxic environment that I grew up in, and realizing that, my mom had her own mental health struggles that she didn't deal with, or at least dealt with the best way that she knew how. And one of the reasons that one of the main topics of Tried and True is breaking generational cycles is because, my mom learned from her mom, who learned from her mom, parent after parent, who just kind of handed down a certain way of raising their child, or, how they treated strangers, how their friendships were, how their relationships were. Like, you see all this as a kid, and that shapes you into who you become as an adult. So, me personally, I grew up a certain way, and especially once I had my daughter, I realized that's not how I want her to feel. I don't ever want her to feel the way that I felt. I don't want her to grow up the way that I grew up. I can't say I ever went without things physically. I had food, I had clothes, I had summer camps, and I had a lot of great memories, a lot of great experiences. But when it came to my emotions, when it came to my mom's mental health, a lot of things were taken out on me as her child, and I understand it now better as an adult, but it's something that's just really stuck with me when it came to a message that I want to give to the world, that I want to give to my daughter, that I know a lot of you guys have been through as well, abuse and trauma and being a punching bag, so to speak, when it comes to all of our mental health and what that looks like. So, Tried and True as a brand, I had different ideas, different avenues I wanted to possibly go when it came to starting my own business, because that was something I had dreamt about since I was a kid. No matter what my hobby was or what I was interested in at the time, I wanted to make that into a job. That was the dream. And as I became an employee and I had other jobs, I could be at a job that I genuinely loved, and I was still like, there's something missing. I want to own it. I want to be proud of it. I want it to be mine. I want to be passionate about it. And when it came to trying to think of what that would look like and how I could make that happen, knowing that I had already kind of created a community for myself online when it came to how open I was with sharing my mental health, sharing my childhood, sharing my experiences, and having people message me telling me like, God, thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you for being so open about this. Like, this saved my life, which is one of the craziest things that I've heard, like to hear that you had some small part in saving someone's life, or even just helping someone not feel alone and with what they're dealing with, that was what stuck with me. And I was like, how can I take that and make that my life, make that my passion, and make that my job, my business? And the reason I went with like clothing and merchandise was that to me was the best way to get the message out there, to have people wearing things with very specific messages and, you know, specific meaning on them, to just be spreading all of those things, spreading those messages. And what those messages are, you know, is the darker side of mental health. Don't get me wrong, there's plenty of negativity in this world, and positivity is so needed. And when I say darker side of mental health, I don't mean, you know, being negative or sitting in depression and kind of like romanticizing or glorifying that. What I mean by acknowledging and accepting the darker side of things is literally just admitting, like, I'm not okay today. My triggers are really loud. My self-doubt is extremely loud today. I'm depressed, I'm anxious, I'm dealing with whatever my mental health struggles might be. Just acknowledging that and creating a sense of community where it's normal and it's okay, because we all go through it. We all have days where we're just like, you know what, not today, maybe tomorrow. That's the most important thing to me, is to share that with you guys. So jumping into what tried and true even means, the phrase itself honestly has stuck with me since, I want to say, like high school. I've had the Instagram handle triedandtrue_XO for years, and I had always heard that phrase, tried and true, in like old poetry and different slogans on TV, movies, and I was always like, I love that. And in my mind, for those of you who don't know me personally, I do write a lot of poetry. Since I was a kid, that's just how my mind has always worked. It's worked in a very like poetic, creative way. So when I heard tried and true, my mind immediately associated with describing people who are tried and true. And as I got older, and as I started to become more self-aware and realize the things that I had been through, I was like, I could honestly say I was very proud that I had been tried, abused, traumatized. You know, I had been through so much. That's the tried part. But I remained true. I stayed true to who I was. I stayed true to what I knew, what I believed was wrong. I stayed true and kind and empathetic and warm and loving, because I don't ever want to be the reason for someone's pain. You know, I have made many mistakes over the years where I was hurting, so I hurt other people and, you know, was wrong in a lot of ways, but who I was as a person never changed. And once I grew up and matured and realized that I was only hurting people because I was hurt, you know, that was a huge awakening for me into realizing that all these things that I've been through do not have to contribute to more negativity in this world. And to be able to create a brand behind that and create a company behind that has been my absolute biggest goal and passion, and I'm trying not to cry. And I can't wait to share it with you guys. And so anyways, before I get too emotional, when is it launching? I've been talking about it for long enough. triedandtruexo.com will be launching Tuesday, April 13th, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I cannot wait to see you guys on the website. I can't wait to see you guys wearing the merch, wearing this clothing brand that I've put a lot of work into and that I hope helps you guys in a lot of ways. The website itself will also have a lot of resources on it. I've worked hard to compile as much as I could. It will continue to grow as the company grows, as I have more time to add to it, but What I mean by resources is basically, you know, I didn't want to put a brand out there that speaks on mental health without tying something into it that's actually a resource for you guys, meaning, you know, suicide and crisis lines, different resources for eating disorders, for therapy and counseling, for domestic violence, sexual assault. I have a page on there for active duty and veterans of the military, single parents. There's so many resources on there that I've tried to put together to just help even more, you know, help in another way, where once you're on my website, it's not just clothes or beanies, it's not just merchandise, it's an actual place where you can hopefully get the help that you need. There is a disclaimer on the website: I am not a mental health professional, and the resources that I've put on there are not my recommendations. They're not any companies or websites that I'm affiliated with in any way. They're just resources that are all public record, or available to the public, that I've just kind of compiled into one place. I've needed a lot of help over the years, and I just want to hopefully, you know, give that to you guys and put it in one place. So yeah, that's what is so funny? That's okay. What are you watching?
I was gonna say, so I know Preston in real life.
That's it. I can't wait to see you guys on the website. I can't wait to see you guys wearing the merch, you know, getting the message out there and continuing to help this community grow. Thank you guys again for being here, for supporting me, for encouraging me. And I just hope to help in any small way that I can on this journey of mental health for all of us, because it's hard, but we got this. Love you guys.